Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at Rival Stars horse racing from PikPok. Now, as the name implies, it is a game centered around racing horses. For those that don't really know much about the sport, think Kentucky Derby, but smaller scale. Now, the game does start with a pretty well-designed tutorial for the mechanics of the game as a whole, leading you through designing the emblem and name of your ranch, as well as your first horse, and giving you a ton of options, basically making it so that way almost no two horses are going to be exactly the same. Now, the idea of horse racing in general is one of those ones that our family does believe borders on cruelty to animals at times. Now, not all racing institutions are that way, but the sport as a whole has a history of what we would consider the mistreatment of the horses. But as far as the game as a whole goes, if you can ignore that aspect of it, it's actually a pretty well designed, horse simulator title where, you are responsible for the upkeep of the horses, the training of the horses, the training of yourself, and essentially, building the brand and legacy that your father and grandfather has left before you. Now, to give the game a fair shot, especially since it is centered around horses, I went ahead, did my hour of playtime, as well as had my youngest, who is an avid horse rider, lover, enthusiast, and have her try it out and basically share both perspectives. Now, with her, she went into it knowing only has the horses, and after doing the tutorial, spent probably close to 30 to 45 minutes alone perfecting her first horse. And by the time she was done, that horse looked very real, and the way she described it and the species and everything, you'd think that she was a horse expert. And the racing mechanics for her were a little difficult. Now, keep in mind, she is 10 going on 11, and but after she understood the mechanics of it, it wasn't that difficult for her to at least play. Now, the overall enjoyment of it, she absolutely loved it. Even though she's against horse racing probably more than anybody I know, she really enjoyed that aspect of it, because it was just a way for her to kind of experience that without the actual competition. Now, since the game went out of preview, it now has online multiplayer where you can actually race other players. And I would assume that the more you train your horse, the easier those will be. Now, she has no interest in doing that. Personally, neither do I, outside of perhaps getting some of the achievements. But the gameplay itself, I did like the simulator aspect of the caring for the horses. The mechanics while racing, I thought, were a little clunky, not quite intuitive, but a big part of that is requiring you to actually be strategic about when you're using your boost and things like that to urge the horse onward. And I spent most of my races, other than the one in the tutorial, far behind everybody else through most of the race. And so that was a little surprising, especially right out the gate of the game. But beyond that, I thought it was a solid title. It's not one that is going to get regular play from me, but it is definitely one that I could see myself playing and just killing some time with and taking things nice and easy and focusing more on the development of my horse than the actual racing itself. And part of that will mean that I'm going to have an easier time when I do the racing, but it is going to kind of change my overall gameplay style for the majority of my playtime. But overall, definitely a solid title. Now, I don't know if they have any others in this franchise or anything. This feels like a completely standalone title. I didn't do much research on the history of it to verify, but it definitely feels like it is the first in a potential series. Now, I could see expansions coming out for this with access to new horse types and new race locations and things like that. But I think that there's definitely enough content here that will keep you busy for quite a while if you allow it. And especially if you enjoy horses and horse care and things like that, and you're looking for a video game that kind of allows you to experience more of that, then this will definitely be that title for you. But it's not going to be one that gets significant play for me, but it might for my 10-year-old. So, she's definitely a horse girl, and this game is clearly aimed at people like her. And for that, they definitely met their demographic, and she absolutely loved the game. So anytime that you get her to be enthusiastic about a game where she's not beating the crap out of me, that is definitely a win. So definitely something to consider. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and we'll catch you next time.